Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the ass screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmakers getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K of 4 units getting played, always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scared money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty all picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies then. Welcome to the best MLB prop show on God's green earth. I'm your host, Sharpie's Bets, and it's Wednesday, so you know what that means. We got the $1 Million segment with Conor Mack to hold you over on your hitting props, as well as the pitching props that I will break down today. We're coming off a great day, guys, but we're 0-0 today, and that's what matters. This show is not sponsored by no one. We're doing this out of our own generosity, so I do appreciate those that have found their way to this channel, as this show is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. If you like what you're hearing, smash that like button. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button as well. On this show, we will talk the opening lines of pitching props as well as the closing K prop line 30 minutes prior to this show going live. First guy on the board, we got Blake Snell at the Pirates, striking people out this year 20.5% of the time, while walking people only 8.5%. Morning line was 5.5, minus 115 on FanDuel. The best line available to that 5.5 is now minus 130 on BetMGM. There is no pitching outs or earned runs available. Lineup is out, and we have 8 righties and 1 lefty. Blake Snell, guys, gets the Pirates in his first game back from the IL, and before he went to the IL, he just looked like dog shit. But that's Blake Snell for you. He can go on runs and look like one of the best pitchers to ever play the game, or just look like dog shit. Well, he has had 2 rehab games getting ready to come back, guys, and he's looked the part, as he hasn't given up a run in either rehab start, and in his last game went 5 innings of no-hit ball while striking out 10 on just 60 pitches. So we can expect Snell to be on a pitch count of 75 to 80 today, as long as he can go that far. So I don't expect to see an outs prop. We haven't got one yet, and they're not even giving us an earned run prop as well. So you know already how I feel like betting a guy on a pitch count, as the books already have enough advantages when they are betting a over, when we're betting an over. So why the fuck would we give them another advantage and hinder ourselves on the amount of people that he is going to see? And it's not like we get a K per inning line, because I'd bet a 4.5 on a pitch count all fucking day versus these Pirates. And no, it's not their numbers, because as over the last 200 plate appearances, they're not walking, only striking out 22% of their at-bats, and have a top 5 isolated power. Well, like I say, who have you seen? As they seen Shota Magna, who went 7 innings of no-run ball. He had 7 strikeouts. And that's the only guy going back to May 1st that they seen that I would put my money on. As they did see the Angels, where Pablo Sandoval went 7 innings of no-run ball with 7 punch-outs, as well as they did get to Tyler Anderson, a guy who don't strike nobody out. Ended up having 5 punch-outs while he was getting racked that day. So there isn't much to put into these numbers for me, guys, is what I'm getting at if I have to talk about some Angels lefties that I'm not going to bet on. So they've had these numbers versus a bunch of bums, guys. They faced Oakland and the Rockies lefties. Oh, so scary. So now, guys, they are projected, and they ran out their 8 righties and 1 lefty bat. And I thought they were going to go 9 righties and sit freaking Cruz. No, they want Cruz to strike out today, guys, as this guy's lefty on lefty splits are just putrid. And before you go, Sharpie, you just beat up on some minor leaguers. Why are you saying he's going to do good now? We just talked about how streaky this sumbitch is, guys. He was getting beat up by minor leaguers when they brought him up the first time, guys. It wasn't like he was pitching well in the minors and then all of a sudden, like, he just started getting the crap kicked out of him. Blake Snell wasn't ready to come up. He got whooped on. Now it says, okay, dude's ready. The dude's in place. So there's no way in hell would I look to go under, but it would be pretty much impossible for me to bet this guy on an over on a pitch count. What I would do and what I might do, depending on other lineups, is I'll look to piece this guy with 5. I'll pull him down to 5 and look for an alt parlay type deal, as I'll bet him a strikeout per inning. He's on a pitch count. Why the fuck am I can he get 6 through 5? Yeah, he could have 7. But I want to know my guy's going 90 pitches plus. So you're always giving the books an advantage when you're betting an over on a pitching prop, guys, when he's on a freaking count. So be very careful. Still hard to go under. It's Pittsburgh. There's no way I'm going to be like, oh, he's on a pitch count. No, he can get 6. I'm not going to say he can't, but you're not going to see me betting a 6. Nah. Not today, Junior. Not today. Let me check my messages. No message from Connor Mack. So let's just go in to the next pitcher on the board. And that's Freddie Peralta, guys, as he gets the Marlins, striking people out 31% of the time while walking people just 8.5% on the year. Morning line was 6.5, minus 128 on FanDuel, where the best line available to that 6.5 is now minus 115 on DraftKings. Pitching out 17.5, minus 155 juice to the over, whereas earned runs are at a 1.5, minus 175 juiced to the over as well. Projected lineup is 5 righties and 4 lefties. Freddie Peralta, guys, gets the Marlins, who over the last 15 days are not walking, only striking out 22% of the time with a bottom 5 isolated power. And when we look at who have they seen that I would go bet on, they got to Zach Wheeler, guys. They took him to the woodshed, and he didn't make it past 4 innings, gave up 6 earned runs while striking out 2. Yoshi of the Dodgers went 8 innings while only striking out 5, and Gavin Stone went 7 innings with just 4 punch-outs. Now, the K percentage in this lineup versus Wheeler was a decent 25% with how many times he has seen this team. He was due, guys, for a bad game, as that's what happens when you have 5 guys in the line, or 4 guys in that lineup with 15 or more at bats off a guy who hit 300. He had like 4 or 5 good games going into that. Well, dude, the numbers said eventually these guys hit 300. That's 3 out of every 10. They were due. They got him. So freaking what? They see the guy 5 times a year. You should get him once every 5 times. They haven't gotten to anybody else, but they're not striking out. Now, we didn't want to go over on Yoshi versus this team because the key, Gavin Stone really ain't a punch-out guy. We've talked about him versus certain matchups because his shit will play, but this team is really, really good at hitting a fastball. What they can't do, guys, and what they will do, guys, is chase. This team will chase with the best of them. And that's when we get into me, depending on the lineup, the lean, and my bet will be the over 6.5. I haven't bet it yet, but when it comes to chase, when he's faced the team who's chased this year, he is 5-1 to the over 6.5. When we look at the one loss, it was to the Astros. What do the Astros do that the Rays, Mets, and the Mariners don't do? That's make contact, guys, when they chase. As he got hooked last week versus the Astros team, who does make contact when they chase. Now, he also had a game versus the Orioles where they chase, yet they're the ninth best team in the league when making contact. The Astros are the 5th, and Fast Freddy put up 11 on these boys. So it comes down to how good is the chase contact in this lineup, guys, because Freddie Peralta got some nasty shit let me tell you. And analytically, guys, his pitch mix is all up to the best in his career, be it spin or break, doesn't matter what pitch you look at. He has looked the part and more. So once lineups come out, guys, I'm going to run the lineup for chase and chase contact. If I get what I'm looking for, I'm going to go over on Freddie's 6.5 today, and I will tweet out if I pull the trigger. You do not want to be a team who is not patient like these Marlins, who is not walking like these Marlins, and who is chasing like these Marlins versus Freddie Peralta. Let me talk to you. Now we got the other side of this matchup. Yum Yums coffee, guys. I drink like 2 pots a day. Hope you do too. Jesus Luzardo versus the Brewers, striking people out at a 27% clip, while walking people 9% on the year. Morning line was 6.5, even money on MGM, and that's exactly where it is at still on MGM. Pitching out 17.5, minus 125 juice to the over, whereas earned runs opened at 2.5, minus 125 juice to the under, and now it is minus 164 juice to the under. Projected lineup is 7 righties and 2 lefties for your Brew Crew. Black Jesus Luzardo gets his shot at the Brewers, guys, who over their last 200 plate appearances versus lefties have been walking tops in the league, striking out 23% of the time while smashing the ball with a top 5 isolated power. So let's go see who they seen that I would bet on. Cole Ragans ragdolled him. Not as bad as he's ragdolling them Tigers before this game started, guys. But Ragans went 6 innings with 8 punch-outs versus these Brewers. And Carlos Rodon himself, the man that ain't hitting overs, went out there and had 8 strikeouts in 6 innings of work as well. And that's who they've seen, guys, that I would actually bet an over on. And Rodon ain't even been that dude this year. Now, Ryan Weathers, who don't strike out no one but his own grandma, had himself 8 and 7 innings of work, as they did get to Rogers the other day, who has had 1 good game all year and couldn't put 2 together. So what I'm getting at, guys, is these numbers should actually be worse of the Brewers. They're not hitting the good lefties, and they're punching out to them. Now, Luzardo did see the Brewers 2 times last year at the end of the year. First game going 5 innings, 6 earned runs while having 5 punch-outs. 18 days later, 5 innings, 3 earned runs with just 5 punch-outs. And this was to a Brewers team that we were able to pick on with lefties throughout the most part of the year, until they did make some trades for guys like Carlos Santana and Mark Canha, guys who do put the ball in play and don't strike out. Luzardo didn't freaking strike out those guys. As well as he had 3+ walks in every freaking game. And yeah, the Brewers this year are the most patient team in baseball right now. And they have been all year. They take pitches, and they make you throw strikes. So what do we need? We need a strike thrower. We need a guy with first pitch strike percentage. Well, guys, Jesus Luzardo has his best zone percentage ever in the history of his life right now, 3% above league average. And he has his best first pitch strike percentage of his career, only 1% above league average. This man's throwing strikes right now, guys, and you don't want to get down 2 strikes to Jesus Luzardo. And if you can't tell where I'm going, I'm looking towards the over, guys. Don't even know why I'm waiting on a lineup, but I do want the lineup. If we go through past history in this lineup, there's only 2 guys who have at least 6 at-bats versus him, and that's the top 2 guys projected in Adames and Contreras, and they're both striking out 33% of their at-bats or more. Now, there is a couple guys with 5 at-bats, and Frelick, who's only struck out 1 of his 5 at-bats. And I forgot the other. Oh, Monasterio has not struck out in any of his 5 at-bats. Anything else, guys, I don't really care about. So when we run the 4 guys that's ran at least 5 at-bats or more, it's still a 25% strikeout percentage. He's still striking out the top part of the lineup, which we talk about, lineup construction. We need that, guys. If we're going to run a K prop of a 6.5, that's a high number. We're going to need the top of the lineup to give it to us too, guys, because that's who we're going to see more often than not than we do the bottom of the lineup. So at the moment, they have Frelick down in the 9 hole. Cool. He's a lefty on lefty. I get it. That helps us with that 1 strikeout and 5 at-bats, guys. Can he get him because he's a lefty? Yeah, but if you look at Frelick's analytics, dude's stupid, guys. He's really freaking good at putting the ball in play. Now, I'm not really afraid of Monasterio. I think he can get him. I know he can get Perkins. I know he can get Yelich. And Owen Miller, he's a good guy versus a lefty, but you can also get him as well. Chiro being the rookie. So there are a few other guys who, if they decide to put into the lineup, would just make me smile even more, as Weimer struck out every at-bat in his 3. And go give me Sanchez, baby. I love me. Sanchez could hit a home run. Don't get me wrong. Sanchez could hit a home run. But that fool could strike out 3 times in a game, too. Don't get me wrong. So I am looking to go over on both these guys in this game today. I do want to see who the umpire is, as I would like it just to be a neutral ump, preferably. I'm not asking for nothing crazy. I don't want a hitter's ump if I'm going to run Luzardo, who the Brewers are the most patient team in baseball. If you want to be a keck ump and not give me a strike for a strike and a ball for a ball, then it could be a really long day for Luzardo. But at first, what was going to be a stay off for me for Luzardo is going to be a look to bet, as like I said, this guy's career zone percentage is the highest it's ever been, as well as his first strike percentage being the highest it's ever been. That's what you need, guys. You need to be a strike thrower. You need to get ahead of this team, guys, because they will chase. The Brewers chase, but they're also very patient. You've got to get ahead to make them chase. He's got the shit to make you chase. He's showing in the analytics that he's getting ahead. So definitely, I know it sounds crazy, but I think I like him maybe just a little bit more than I do Peralta. So until next time, let's talk us a little hitting props, guys. And my shit just zoomed on me like crazy. Like, give me a second. I'm so sorry to get paused up, but there we go. If you didn't know, I type out all my freaking shit that I'm talking about. So sorry if I do ignore the chat. It's because I'm literally reading as I'm freaking, doing the show, because that's what I do. I like talking to myself, and I can talk to myself. But enough talking to myself, and let's get us into the hitting props. Let's bring on Conor Mack, guys, to talk us some wonderful hitting props on this beautiful Wednesday. What's up, my boy?
What up?
Man, chilling over here, bro. I could get to talking pitchers all day long, and it's just making a bet is the problem. It's like, pull the trigger, you panoche.
This is real money, This ain't like fake. Like, come on now. Like, this is so the importance of it to me. Take your time. I've had a lot of those people too. I'm like, fuck off. All right.
Yes, I just looked at the Kansas City game 3-0. I may have made a live bet, so let's get some money.
I took them the last 2 days. Of course, I leaned under. I was worried.
I wanted the under 3.5, bro, for the Detroit team total. It was even money. I was staring at it. I was like, Raggins he's going deep today. I didn't know he was going to strike out 15 or whatever he's got right now. He's at 8 already. I was like,
he's already at 8. Yeah.
I was looking towards the 7. I was like, okay, do I play that? I was like, nah, I think it's the team total, bro. I think everybody is dominating these guys, and I'm like, I think I'm getting too cute. I was like, but Scooble's going to get hit. He struggles versus his own division.
The division on the road. This was the start. Yeah. Maybe he's not get tattooed, and he's not quite, but
only 3 hits, bro. But
yeah,
3-0.
Yep, exactly.
So I took a live bet on the 3.5 when it was after the first inning, 12 pitches for Raggins, and it was still 3.5, and it was a -145. I was like, okay, I'll pay the fucking juice. It's still the same number that it was, and I got 3 outs down, and now I got a 3-run lead, which is 3 more outs down if they keep it. So yeah.
Hey, like I said, Royals. I had the first 2 days.
Bro. I haven't
easiest
been
wins
at all this year, bro. At all.
I haven't too much.
Capping. I had my shit done for Raggers. I didn't pull the trigger, and then I was listening to the game, and I was like, bro, he's gonna dog him. Don't live. I'm just fuck this shit.
Beautiful.
We'll see. Hopefully it works out. Right now it's still 3-0. Hopefully they put up a nice goose egg. And let's talk us some hitting props. I know some of these games crack off soon, so let's get into it.
Shout out to everyone in here. Hit the like button. I always say that. Least you can do. But Cover Kings, Justin, how's it going up here? Guillermo Zertucci, as always. My man, class act. I did. Let's get to the hitting props. This is kind of I don't know, as you call it, titty capper of a hitting prop here, Sharpie. I'm just going to this here. Yeah, I used him a couple times early in the year. I think I'm 2 for 2 with him. He kind of hit the skids. His jack here is only plus 320, so that's up to you to take it. But I took Corey Seager's RBI here, plus 120. He's 5 for 18 off Walker with a homer. But all of a sudden, he's starting to hit. 10 out of the last 11 knocks. The last 2 games, home runs. And Walker, we all know, better at home and fade second half, Sharpie. But I think he could get hit. And what is his problem? The long ball. So, and that's why his homer's so low. And I mean, other spots, I even saw 250 with Corey Seager there. But his RBI plus 120, I'm on it. That's my kind of square play of the day there. Let's get to here. Keep rolling. Red Sox, Rays. I wanted to get to this. What do we get from Bale? I think he could pitch all right. Some of these Rays hit him well. And the numbers are tough here, Sharpie.
You said square, so I had to do L7. Weenie. Sorry.
Yeah, what about it?
You said square, so I'm over here doing the Sandlot.
Oh, yeah, the Sandlot. Okay. Is it? Well, these are square, too. The price is too crazy. I'm going to be off these guys. Okay? Yandy Diaz. He's what? 5 for 7, 2 doubles, not hitting great. All right. Josh Lowe, we had him last week, Sharpie. He didn't come through. But he's, I think he had a homer the next day. Classically happens to me all the time. But he's 7 for 14. The number's not bad on him. He is in the 2-hole. But I want this guy in the 5 spot. Red hot. Paredes. He's 2 for 5 with a homer off Bayo. His RBI is plus 190. You got to put on this jack, plus 675. He's had multi-hit games in 8 of 10. He just went 3 for 4 again last night. This guy's quietly the guy, and he's going to be in the 4 or 5 spot, and he's in the 5 spot here. Brandon Lowe's back. The Lowe brothers are back in there for this lineup. So I got to be on him. This is crazy. He's too red hot right now, really coming into his own. Isaac Paredes, RBI plus 190. Put it on the jack, plus 675.
Old Isak.
Hell yeah. Isak.
The dude don't miss fastballs, bro. When I do my K props and stuff, bro, I always check that guy off his no strikeouts. I'm like, dude, this dude's just such a good contact hitter, dude. He doesn't whiff, and he puts the ball in play. Big boy. He's a big boy.
Big boy. He's got solid power, good gap power. Yeah, red hot. And he's been sneaky good for me all year long. I found these guys. Let's go to another guy, sneaky good, Sharpie. I'm going to stay out this Yankees game today. I had that under yesterday. Gleyber Torres 3-run bomb. I thought I was coasted there. And then a couple solos late for the Mariners. I'm going to go to this game, cash with the Rockies. All year, Ryan McMahon's been my dude. But I've used this guy a ton. And I think the secret's out a little bit more and more with it. And that's the shortstop here, Ezekiel Tovar. Are you kidding me, my man? I mean, it's tough for me to take guys I know after he hits 2 home runs. But this guy's just swinging a hot bat. Talk about multi-hit games in 5 of 8. Kind of when he got going, same thing with Diaz, a few others. This Rockies team, even on the road, started scoring runs. And this is the guy. He's like last year in his rookie year, he hit 270, 15 homers. And I think he could hit 20 this year. But his over 1.5, give it to me. He hasn't seen Spence. But I've seen plenty of Spence, Sharpie, here from Vegas. He's not that good at all. So give me his over 1.5 plus 155. I put a little on the homer. It's 8-1. I gotta take it. The guy's red hot. Give me the plus 800 on the Jacks.
800, dog. That's for real. I didn't think you were gonna go Tovar. I thought you were gonna go Doyle. So you just sprang me. I don't pay attention to the Rockies. I do know that they have been hitting people, and they got the Cease, they got the King, they got to some good guys too. It wasn't just bums in that mix either. So. I'm
going with him because I think the price is just how red hot he is. Ryan McMahon, like I said, has been the most part. And then I've used Diaz and Doyle in certain spots. And Diaz just came back from a hand. He had 3 hits last night. But he seems fine. But before that, he was getting hot, while they were scoring runs. So he's a guy that he's going to hit 4th all year. He's going to get plenty of RBIs in that spot.
Yeah, especially with Blackman until they trade Blackman. Because Blackman's going to be in that 1 hole until then. He's going to get traded this year. I think he's on the end of his contract. They'll
dump him somewhere. Yeah, they'll get rid of him probably. July.
Too bad they won't send him over to us, huh?
Maybe
take his rental.
Dodgers.
I think we're getting Verlander, bro. That's the type of guy we go after. Pitchers on a contract, the end of their contract. We'll pay the last 3 months of your salary and let you run. But
You
we
you on
we need a
Glasnow today?
I will be
What's his
talking about
strikeouts?
Glasnow. If anything, I want him for the win. But I'm afraid I like to compare pitchers. And if you compare Glasnow to anybody else, it'd be Spencer Strider. Spencer Strider got dogged by these boys a lot when he played them.
Yeah.
So there's just something in my stomach saying like, bro, do they shorten up today and just go oppo? I've seen it. They
Mm-hmm.
can. This is a team who can. Even
Well,
Strider only had 7.5, 1 of 4 games versus these D-backs. And now he's a 7.5. Like, can he get it? Yeah, but it's like,
This lineup too gets going. Look at it last year. This team went to the World Series. It's pretty good. Jock's hitting all of a sudden. He's cashed for me with some ribbies
Suarez's
lately.
numbers are going
Suarez.
the craziest of his career. Like, this dude's used to swinging at everything. He'll still strike out some, but he's not striking out 3 times in a game no more. And it's like it's rubbing off, bro, what they're doing over there. Like, they believe put the ball in play. They are big into just make them making out.
Yeah. Ketel Marte. Guy's really good. And you know how much Christian Walker went yard last night. This guy's cashed for me.
So many times, bro. I think the other day he was going up against a lefty, and
that's
Ben Doc texts me, goes, man, Christian Walker better not strike out. It was versus Abbott. I was like, bro, he's gonna hit a home run. I've seen this my whole life versus lefties, bro. Like, preferably against one of the best ones in the career of baseball, like in the history. He's did him like, and then first pitch goes, you fucking crushed him. I was like, yeah, dude, you don't. There's certain guys that are lefty killers, but they're not lefty over there right now. But Walker can get got. I don't know. There's something on the line though that's telling me Glasnow for the win. I've been looking at that for like 3 weeks straight. He's been a minus 300 for 3 weeks straight. And now finally the win matches a minus 300, where it was like a pick 'em, minus 105, minus 110 for a 300 pitcher on the money line. No, bro, it's minus 130 to 40 on those type of guys for the win. And that's where it's at today for DraftKings. So I think they're telling me he's going to get the win. I want to bet him to get the win, but I'm going to probably stay off because that Strider, bro, like,
Well, here, I got one more. I don't know if you talked about these
before
pitchers
we get to that, though, but last week, Austin Barnes caught him for the first time. I stayed off of him.
I saw that, yeah.
You got to pay attention who catches people, guys.
He could be catching
Austin
tonight.
Barnes ain't bad. I'm just saying this is the guy he's pitched with in his first 9 games. You gotta learn, guys. So sometimes you gotta let them pitch together. And Barnes was, and Glasnow almost got kicked out of last game. Fuck. I was listening to the game. He had substances on him, bro.
I know, there's hand. I saw the thing.
Yes, guys. So, fuck, if he's not cheating today, bro, what happened?
Real quick, and this is a sit day, or he'll go and Smith will sit the next game. But this is the classic after 5-6 starts. This was the last one he sat was May 16th, so it could happen again. So you're right. Watch it. Let's get to this one. 2 pitches, Sharpie. I got to do it. Max Fried, Justin Steele. Both these guys are very, very good. Justin Steele got clacked by the same team after the hamstring. Now, was it just one team? Is it the injury? These Braves have gotten to him, and he's pitched well. Same thing with Max Fried. Some of these guys have got to him, but he's pitched well against the Cubs for the most part. He's on the road. Wind's blowing out a little bit in Wrigley. The game still stayed under yesterday. I had the Cubs. I think it's a decent spot for the Braves. Justin Steele's just been a bet on for me for the most part. Like last year, this year I haven't done a ton, and then he went on the IL, and I just stayed off, and he gave up a bunch of runs the last 2 weeks. But I got to get to this guy because looking on both sides, I was just digging. Like Michael Harris is a guy. He had great numbers here off Steele, 4 for 7, a double. Ronald Acuna. I'm just waiting until he starts hitting home runs here, Sharpie. Matt Olson's always never a good price, but he's starting to hit a few. Like the power just hasn't been there for Ronald Acuna. So I'm just going to wait till he starts raking and then hop on the train because he's got me a few times this year. I'm going to this guy. His price is insane. He's 4 for 6, 2 doubles off Steele. And I think he's a better hitter a little bit from this side. Switch hitter, Ozzie Albies. Guy I don't take a ton of. here. His over 1.5 is minus 120, minus 115, 120. That's crazy. But he's in the 2-hole, but his RBI is plus 155. That's the best price I got. I love it. I think get some knocks here. He's always good off steal, like I was talking about. He just came back. He's had a ton, too, of one-hit games. I think he's just due. I love him from the right side, too, even more from the left. Last year, he had over 100 RBIs. Give me his RBI, plus 155. Put a little on the jack, plus 450. Aussie, Albies. Guy I don't use a ton today.
I'm looking
That's it.
for what does Acuna do versus him?
He's a short 3 for 7, I believe.
He's 9 for. Oh, he's batting 375 and 9 at bats.
Yeah.
So Ronald Acuna
was-
gets on. He is stealing. I don't give a damn if it's a lefty. I don't give a damn if it's a
3
righty.
for 8, yeah. It was a walk. You're right.
If he gets
Yeah.
on, there's your chance at your RBI right there, bro. So I just say
Bingo.
like plus 155. I like that, bro. I think I might have to go get on me that today.
I like it too. Because I was just like Hap had some good numbers. He finally hit a homer. I was looking at the Cubs side. Bellinger has been good to me. He has good numbers. Off read 8 for 23. Which watching this guy, I just can't fathom that he actually hits lefties. It's great for him, but it's just mind boggling. Watching him, Sharpie, the first 4 or 5 years. I mean, he couldn't even hit a lefty. But I always find that just a chuckle. And he has good numbers. So, but with 2 good pitchers, I don't know if we get some runs, but I love this spot. I was just looking at this. I think this is one of the better looks at a great price with Albies today.
Appreciate you, bro. So
Hell yeah.
I threw every bet he gave out today, guys, in the chat. If you're wondering what he's on today, the one that sounds bestest to me is that Albies RBI, and you gonna see my motherfucker right here. Go bet that shit. So I appreciate you as always, Conor Mack. Let these fine young people know what you got going on and where they can find you.
Just check me out. We'll do the live stream tonight. Go hit it up on Pub. You roll if you want, but
Yes,
big
I will
deal.
shoot the link, unless I'll just
shoot the
harass
link.
Billy for it.
Or do that. If I don't remember, yes, do that. But yeah, Conor Mack picks on Twitter /X, as they call it. And thanks for having me. I always love coming on. I always love talking, hitting props, my dude.
Yeah, I gotta get used to calling this X myself. And we're back to talk about a little bit of pitching. Let's get into the last 2 pitchers we're going to talk about today as I am waiting. Oh, there's the Marlins lineup. I'm going to have to run a little bit because there's some weird-ass names down here that I don't even know, which means Peralta's going to be going up in juice, which, if you know what I like to say about that, I don't give a fuck. If it's going to cash, it's going to cash, and I'll pay the juice. Now, if it straight jumps a whole number, I'm going to blow my head off that this lineup came out during this. But this looks like a moving day lineup of moving day lineups, and I want me in more than likely. I still got to run what I'm looking for. We talked about him. We're looking for that chase and chase contact in that lineup, but it's looking like we're going to get it. I will tweet out my bet if and when I do bet it. Let's go talk about some nasty Nestor guys versus the Mariners. Striking people out this year 23.5% of the time while walking people 9%. No, he's not walking people 9%, 5%. Morning line, 5.5 minus 155 on DraftKings. And the best line available now is, 6.5 plus 112 on FanDuel. Pitching outs is 17.5 minus 185 juice to the over, whereas earned runs 2.5 minus 140 juice to the under. Projected lineup is 8 righties and 1 lefty. Nestor Cortez gets his shot at the Mariners, guys, after we got a little lucky to cash his 5.5 last week versus the White Sox, as he got it on his last batter. But a win is a win, and sometimes you need some luck. Now, when we look at the Mariners' numbers versus lefties over the past 200 plate appearances, we got a team not walking, striking out 25.5% of their at-bats, as well as smashing the ball with a top 5 isolated power. So let's go see who they seen that I'd bet on. And not that many lefties that I would bet on is, yes, they've seen Framer Valdez, and they smacked him. But the Mariners have crushed him the last 3 times they've seen him. And so what? They crushed him again. Now, they've seen Chris Sale. He mowed him down, 9 strikeouts of no run ball in 5 innings. And Max Fried went 6 innings of no run ball with 7 punch-outs. So, yeah, there is the reason why we get a 6.5, guys. And the books know that. that Seattle sucks. No one's going to bet the under, and they've got to jump them up. And that's what we have today, guys. This Nestor hasn't had more than 6.5 strikeouts in just 2 of his 10 starts this year. And it was a 6.5 last week. They dropped him down to a 5.5. We got in on the 5.5, and it went back up to a 6.5. I thought he was going to get that 6.5, but thought doesn't pay the bills, so we had to let it be, and we let it be. Now, do we need to leave this be? This guy hasn't had a good matchup yet this year. We played him last week, guys, because of the past history, as well as how long we could project him out there versus a White Sox team that's just not hitting the ball. And right here, we've got some past history in this, if we go look at this, guys, and it's not that good. And it all depends on, does Polanco play? Is he going to be healthy? Is he going to not be healthy? And if Polanco's in, I believe this drops down to a 5.5. If it's not, it'll stay at a 6.5. The lineup's going to have a lot to do with where this goes and with how I bet it. 6.5 with Polanco, it should drop to 5.5. And then I'll be looking at, if it's a 6.5, I'm looking at taking the Yankees team total under 3.5 right now, as both Fried and Sale put up no runs versus this team. I expect Nasty Nestor to go out and do his thing. He did face this team last year in a spot where he should have went out there and dominated, and he really didn't dominate, guys, as he went 5 innings, struck out 6, and gave up just 2 earned runs. Now, that was also his last game for 2 months. He went straight to the IL. So I don't know if he was healthy. Obviously, he wasn't healthy. He didn't just go fall down the stairs after that. Something happened in that game, and Nestor only pitched 5 and ended with 6. Nestor is healthy. Nestor finally gets a matchup versus a team in the top 10 with Chase and Chase contact, as he hasn't had a team with 2 of the 3 this year. So if you're on Nestor today, ladder him. That's what I'm going to tell you guys. And I will tweet out if I pull the trigger on him, as we are starting to get mass lineups out. And the stupid Brewers did something I didn't want them to do. Now, they did put Sanchez in. They put Monasterio at the top instead of having Adames and Contreras at the top. Yelich in the 3-hole. Sanchito. Hello, Sanchito. Still Churro, Murrow, and Perkins. Miller and Perkins. Okay. We'll see where that line settles at as well. I will be tweeting out, guys, if you're just tuning in. I'm going to have to run a little more lineup stuff on the Marlins and the Brewers. I'm looking to go over 6.5 on Peralta and Luzardo. The lineups aren't scaring me, but still I want to dot my I's and cross my T's before I pull the trigger. Same with needing the Mariners lineup right now, guys. I'm looking towards his strikeouts or taking the Mariners team total under 3.5 or taking him down and to win. It all depends. I do want to back Nestor. I think Nestor's in a spot that we need to take advantage of. And he hasn't had a spot like this in 10 games this year, guys, or else this dude would be a 7.5. So, yeah, let's talk the next guy on the list. And that's my boy, Tyler Glasnow, at the Diamondbacks, striking people out 34% of the year while walking people 6.5% of the time. Open them up 7.5 minus 140 on FanDuel. You can get a 7.5 at minus 130 on MGM now. Pitching outs are 18.5 minus 185 juice to the under, whereas earned runs are 1.5 minus 130 juice to the over. Projected lineup is 5 righties and 4 lefties. Tyler Glasnow gets the Diamondbacks, guys, after coming off of his first bad start in Dodger Blue. And yes, guys, he still had 8 strikeouts, but he only went 5 innings and gave up 4 earned runs. And it was a very good matchup when you look at what it came to his strikeout percentage. And he still came up short by the hook of his 8.5 where he was put at. And that was with Bill Miller behind the plate. Now, if you're on Team Sharpie, guys, you know we stayed off that day because Will Smith has caught Glasnow in every game this year until last week when Austin Barnes got the call. And I'm not saying he's a bum, but when a guy is doing well with one guy, you don't fuck with the chemistry. So before any bets get put in on Glasnow, we need to make sure Will Smith is catching him if we want to back him. Or at least I do. And I think I want to, guys, as record the win is the way that I'm looking. He's coming off of his worst game, and I expect a bounce back as the Dodgers are coming off of a loss as well, where they've won over 70% of their games this season. Another thing that is pointing me to the record the win is Glasnow has been a minus 280 to 300 favorite in 3 of his last 4 games and hasn't been higher than a minus 110 to record the win. That didn't make sense to me, guys. I've seen 130s and 140s on those type of numbers. And that kept me off of his record the win last week, guys, because it was a minus 105 as a minus 300 favorite. And I'm like, no. But he's a 280 to 300 favorite again, guys. And this is where the number should be. Glasnow is a minus 135 to record the win. That's the number I'm used to seeing, guys, on minus 300 favorites. Is we got to understand how the books make their lines, or at least get used to seeing what they do, guys. And when they don't do what we do used to seeing, we got to pay attention. Nothing in this world is free, especially with these books. So we know the D-backs are pesky, guys, when it comes to running a strikeout prop over. But yet over the last 15 days, the numbers say they've actually been gettable, as they're striking out 23.5% of their at-bats, which is uncharacteristic of this team, yet they are walking tops in the league with a middle-of-the-pack isolated power. So let's go say who they played that I would bet on. Yoshi just diced them up, guys, but it said so in the line as he went 6.1 innings, 2 runs, had 8 punch-outs. Then it also said it in the lines, guys, that Hunter Green was going to not get his strikeouts as he went 7 innings, 2 earned runs, and only 5 strikeouts. We talked about it that day. It was under or nothing. Then he seen him 5 days before that. 5 innings, 4 runs, 6 strikeouts. Now, when I look through Glasnow's game log, guys, and I see what games he didn't have 8 or more strikeouts, those being the Padres the first time, the Cardinals, the Giants, and the Nationals. And then I go look through all the categories trying to find what do they have in common. It's only one thing, guys, as they're all top 8 in not swinging at pitches in the zone. As they make you work and they make you throw pitch after pitch after pitch. And if you're going to run your pitch count up, it's going to be a hard day to hit a big number. Now, when we look at the D-backs and their zone swing percentage, they're near the bottom 10. Now, this doesn't work now when I looked at it for his overs, guys. It's just what I seen when his unders don't hit. That was the trending common. Now, guys, I want to back him. But like I was saying to my boy C-Mac when we were talking hitting props, I like to compare pitchers. You'll hear me talk about it all the time. And if you're going to compare Glasnow to anybody, he would be in the Strider freaking category, guys. Well, at least me is 1-2 in my book. And Strider has struggled versus the D-backs. Strider has only had more than 7.5 strikeouts 1 of his 4 games. He's only gone 6 innings 2 of his 4 games. And in those 2 games where he went 6 innings, there's only been 1 game where he had a quality start. So what I'm saying is he's either going way over or he's going to end up on 7 or 6, guys. So I'm not willing to take the shot on that strikeout prop, but I'm going to tell you, it's you can ladder him if he hits it. If he gets 8, he's probably having 9. He's probably having 10. He's probably having 11. He's probably having 12. So however you want to play it, you can play it. Me personally right now, unless they just want to run out like McCarthy, if they want to run out a bum lineup, then fuck it. I'll play a 7.5. But then the lineup will move to an 8.5, as that's the way shit should move. As I expect this Peralta line to be moving just by some of the names that I've seen in that freaking bum-ass freaking lineup that the Marlins put out. So I'm going to go run some lineup work, fellas. I'm going to tweet out my action when I pull the trigger. So far today, guys, I have 0 bets in. I know, hate me. Waiting on lineups. 2 of them came out during the show. I'm going to go run those lineups. But, you know, life's a bitch and you marry one, and I happen to marry 2.